Hi everyone, it's Dr. Liz, psychologist at the CU Wellness Clinic at the Anschutz Health and Wellness Center, and we're doing another one of our Mindful Monday videos. If you're new to the Mindful Monday videos, I'm so happy you've decided to check it out today. There are a few from earlier that you might find helpful and interesting. They don't have to go in order, but it might be helpful just to check some of them out, try some different things and see what works for you. Today, we're talking about finding control through release. So a lot of us really want things to go a certain way a lot of times, and we want to find control over things. And what we find in mindfulness work is that it isn't necessarily the events that are creating the troubles for us or the feelings that create the troubles for us and the suffering. It's how we relate to those feelings and how we relate to the events, the thoughts that we have about the events. And a lot of us right now are feeling a huge loss of control. Our lives are very different as we're surviving, getting through this pandemic, figuring out how we're going to navigate it, figuring out how to deal with a lot of losses. A lot of students are feeling losses, a lot of individuals and families are feeling losses, whether it's events that they had planned, celebrations, families being together now that they're apart, and even significant losses, either through illness or death. These are not easy times. They're very difficult. And a lot of times it's very difficult to accept where we are. And a lot of us get caught up in the idea of acceptance, meaning that this is the way it's going to be and that we're okay with the way things are going to be. Instead, acceptance is really noticing how things are instead of how we want them to be. We can acknowledge we wish things were different, but if we keep thinking about how terrible things are, how awful things are, we can get into some mind traps. We can awfulize, we can catastrophize, we can should on ourselves, thinking that this shouldn't be this way. I should be able to do my kid's graduation. I should be able to go to that prom. I should be able to get work immediately. And when we're in those places, then we have much more suffering because we're relating to those events with judgment. So one way to find some release in all of this sounds kind of counterintuitive because we want to grip outcomes. We want to grip and hold the way things are. But the tighter we grip and the more that we resist the way things are, wishing that they could be different, with that resistance and that tightness, we actually don't have more control. We do have more control over our feelings when we let them come, when we release into them and release into what things are like right now, and that things are difficult and that there is some suffering right now. And we can also then have some different thoughts about, I've gotten through these things, I can get through them, I'll be able to some way, no matter how difficult they are. So a lot of the time, this resistance doesn't mean that things won't change. It means that things might change. So I'm going to invite you just to do a quick progressive muscle relaxation with me when you feel that you need control over something, and finding the contrast between control and release, and thinking about really that gripping and how we want something to go a certain way. So I'm going to invite you all just to sit in your chair or wherever you are and close your eyes. Just become aware of the breath. Perhaps taking a deeper breath through the nose, filling the belly, letting it expand on the inhale. Pausing and then exhaling the same slowness as you did with the inhale, letting all that air out. And now just begin to pay attention to your hands, your arms, your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, and your forehead. Just notice where they are. And now I'm going to invite you to scrunch and tighten and tense every single one of those muscles. The forehead, your brow furrowing, your jaw clenching, your fists tightening, your neck and your shoulders pushing all the way up. And hold that for just a minute. And then release it. Do you notice where there's some tension and where some tension released? And that's a really quick and easy way to know if you're gripping something and trying to find control. And noticing just the difference and maybe where it's sore because you tensed and then released, and where something is still stuck. Noticing, is it tight? Is it warm? What's the pain like? Instead of saying this is painful or this hurts, what if we say, well, it's kind of pulsing, or it feels like it needs to loosen a little bit. So I'll invite you all to try those and try the progressive relaxation. And I'll invite you just to be aware, even right now, of what you're thinking about the situation that you're in, what you're thinking about the events around you, and to pause and to notice if there's a want for things to be different than they are, or if there's a way to just say, this is where things are. And I hope they'll change. I don't know if they will, but fighting them, resisting them can make things worse. So try the progressive muscle relaxation. Try releasing to find more control. Be well, and I'll see you soon.